Hello students, welcome back to the channel. My name is Namrata and as requested, I am here in front of you to discuss JEE Main 2021 paper solution which was held on 26 February Shift 1. So without wasting any time, let's get started. From the family of relations, we have our question which says P and Q are 2 points which will sit inside the relation R such that OP and OQ are equal, where O is the origin. P and Q are at the same distance from the origin, right? We have another point 1 comma minus 1. We need to figure out the set which is equivalent class of 1 comma minus 1. Let's understand this question. So we all know that OP is equals to OQ is given to us, right? And we have a point S which is 1 comma minus 1, right? Now, distance from the origin of this point is nothing but OS, which is equals to square root of 2, right? Now, we need to figure out one set which is equivalent class of 1 comma minus 1, right? That means if I take a point R which is x comma y, then OR would be equal to OS. Yes, OR would be equal to OS. Hence, because this is an equivalence class, isn't it? Hence, we'll apply the distance formula. Square root of x square plus y square is OR. Distance from origin to the point x comma y, and that is equals to root 2. If you square both the side, you get x square plus y square equal to 2, which is sitting inside option D. So for this question, option D is the right answer. Got it? From the world of circles, we have our question which says, in a circle given below, this is the diagram, right? In a circle given below, OA is 1 and OB being 13. If OB is 13, that means AB is 12. Okay. PQ is perpendicular to OB. Then we need to figure out the area of triangle PQB. Area of triangle PQB. Okay, let's begin. So, if I talk about this triangle PQB, the area of this triangle would be nothing but half into base into height. Here height would be what AB and base would be what PQ. The whole question is all about getting PQ and AB. AB we have already got. OA is 1, AB is 12, isn't it? So AB we have 12. So area would be what? Half into 12 into PQ, right? So now the question is about chasing PQ. Let's find out PQ. If you see PQ, and if you complete the figure, let C be the center of the circle, PQ be the chord, right? So this is perpendicular. So PA and AQ are equal. So why not find PA and double it to get PQ? Yes. So now the whole question is all about PA, right? Okay. Can you see this is PA, this is AC, and this is PC. This is a right angle triangle, right? And okay, all right. What is PC? PC is radius, right? Now let's try to find out the radius of this circle. So here we have what? We have OB is equals to 13, which is diameter. That means radius would be what? 6.5. Radius PC would be nothing but 6.5. All right, that is cool. That means OC is also 6.5, isn't it? And we all know OA is 1. That means AC over here would be what? 5.5. Yes. OA is 1. AC is 5.5. In this right angle triangle, we know AC, we know PC, we can know PA by applying Pythagoras theorem just like this. PA is equals to square root of 6.5 whole square minus 5.5 whole square. If you solve it, you get, okay, A square minus B square would be A plus B multiply A minus B. So that is what? 12. Square root of 12. This is what? PA. What about PQ? Twice of PA would be PQ, that is 2 root 12. So I'll put the value over here. Let's just solve it. Let's just get the value. Finally, the question is done. 2 and 2 gone. Root 12 is what? 2 root 3. So we have 24 root 3 as our final answer. So the area of triangle PQB is nothing but option C, 24 root 3. Got it? Let's move on to the section 2, which is numerical answer type question. There are total 10 questions in this section. We need to pick only 5. We need to attempt only 5. Okay, let's begin. The very first question is from trigonometry, which says we need to figure out the number of integral values of k for which this equation has a solution. Okay, this is a typical question in which what do we do? We see that LHS is of the form A sin x plus B cos x. The moment we see A sin x plus B cos x, we know the range of this particular expression. What is the range of this particular expression? The maximum value is square root of a square plus b square and the minimum value is minus square root of a square plus b square. Yes, both sides close interval. Okay, so that means 3 sin x plus 4 cos x belongs to minus square root of 3 square plus 4 square, that is minus root 25 minus 5 comma plus 5. That means k plus 1 belongs to minus 5 to plus 5 as well. Why? Because both should possess a solution. Okay. Hence, k belongs to, we are subtracting minus 1 over here, k belongs to minus 6 to 4. If you count from minus 6 to 4, how many integral values are there? You will figure out that there are 11 values. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are these. Minus 1 to minus 6 are 6. And then we have a 0 in between. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 1, 11. Finally, this question has an answer 11. Very easy question, isn't it? From the world of binomial, we have our next question which says m and n both are natural numbers. GCD of 2, n is 1. Okay. What do we interpret from this? 2, n. Here n, if n is an even number, then this is not true. If n is an even number, 2, 4, what is GCD? 2. Right? That means definitely n is an odd number. Very first thing for interpretation. N is definitely an odd number. Then we have this series. The sum of this series is n times 2 raised to power m. We need to figure out the value of n plus m. Okay, let's begin. Let's first analyze the series. Here we have 30. Then we have 30C0. Next we have 29 multiplication 30C1. Next we have 28, of course. And then you tell me 30C2. All the way up to twice of 30C28. Then 1 times 30C29. And then see, I have 30C0, then second term having 30C1, 30C2, 30C3, 30C29, but I need to create one more term which is 30C30 so that the series is completed. So 0 times 30C30 I'll add. That is eventually 0, right? This is nothing but S. Now you can see that the binomial coefficients are there and this is a series which is an AP. What do we do for an AP? Actually, we'll reverse the series and write it nicely. So the very last term, I'll be writing it over here. What is the last term? 0 multiply 30C30. But 30C30 can be written down as 30C0, isn't it? Very interesting. So that these two are like terms. Okay. This term, I'll be writing it over here. What is this term? 1 times 30C29 can be written as 30C1. Interesting. Then we have this term. Third last term, I'll be writing it over here, which is 2 multiply 30C28, which can be written as 30C2. And over here actually, what about the last term? So I'll be writing over here 30C30 multiply 30C30. Yes, and a term previous to this would be this, that is 29 multiply 30C29. Right? We are not writing the binomial coefficient as it is, but we are modifying it. 30C1 can be written down as 30C29 so that these two are same. And this would be what? 28 multiply 30C2, but 30C28. And so on. Now, we'll add these two. 2s is equals to. Now, let's add. So, here we have 30 multiply 30C0. Right? Next term, if you add these two, 29 plus 1. 30 multiply 30 C1. Let's add these two. 30 multiply 30 C2. Then we have these two, which is 30 multiply 30 C28. Then we have 30 multiply 30 C29. Then we have 30 multiply 30 C30. Whole complete series, we can take out 30 common, and we have 30 C0 plus 30 C1 and all the way up to 30 C30. This is what? 15. S would be equals to 15 multiply. 15 multiply the whole series, which is nothing but 2 raised to power 30. NC0 plus NC1 plus NC2 all the way up to NCN is what? 2 raised to power n, isn't it? So this is exactly equal to n multiply 2 raised to power m. Now let's compare. N is an odd number, so n is what? 15. N equals to 15 and m equals to 30. We need to add these two. N plus m is equals to 45 is your answer. 45. Got it? From the chapter differential equations, we have a question which says y equals to y of x is a solution of this differential equation, where initial condition is also given and we need to figure out the value of this expression. So to solve this question, we need to solve differential equation. What kind of differential equation is this? So if I talk about the linear differential equation, the form is dy by dx plus py equals to q, where p and q are the function of x, right? So if you try to create in this form, you need to divide the whole function by this factor. E raised to power sin y multiply cos y. If you do that, then you'll realize that these two are not getting created. Hence, directly it is not getting converted into this form. But what I can see is, very important thing over here is, if I substitute e raised to power sin y equals to t, what I get is this. If I differentiate both the sides, what I get is cos y dy by dx. Let's just differentiate this. E raised to power sin y, then sin y has a differentiation, cos y, then we have dy by dx, and on the right hand side we have dt by dx. Right? So we can convert this equation. So this whole expression will be replaced by dt by dx. Plus, now this is what? E raised to power sin y. So I'll be writing as t on this place. We have cos x, that is equals to cos x. Alright, now can you see these two are similar form, just that t and y are replaced. Right? In this, if I replaced y by t, I'll get exactly this. Right? Okay. Now how to solve this? How to solve this? dy by dx plus py equals to q. How to solve this form? So we have y multiply integrating factor is equals to integration of q multiply integrating factor dx. Integrating factor is nothing but e raised to power integral of p dx. Right? So in this, t multiply integrating factor, that is equals to integration of q. What is q? Cos x multiply integrating factor dx. Let's just calculate integrating factor. What would be the integrating factor? E raised to power cos x would be the integrating factor. Let me write it over here. Integrating factor is equals to e raised to power integral cos x dx. Right? If you solve it, what would you get? You get e raised to power sin x. Isn't it? So integrating factor is e raised to power sin x. So t multiply e raised to power sin x, that is equal to integral cos x e raised to power sin x dx. Let's just integrate this. How to do that? I'll put e raised to power sin x as t, right? Or let's not put t. Let's put it u. So let's delete this for now. Yes. E raised to power sin x is u. Then e raised to power sin x multiply cos x would be what? Dx would be what? Du. Right? So the whole thing is replaced by du. Integral of du. Integral du is what? U plus c. So t multiply e raised to power sin x, this is the solution. T multiply e raised to power sin x equal to e raised to power sin x plus c, isn't it? And let's replace t by e raised to power sin y. So here you have e raised to power sin y multiply e raised to power sin x is equals to e raised to power sin x plus c. Now you know at x equals to 0, you're having y equals to 0, initial condition. The moment you put 0, 0 in this would be 1 multiply 1 equals to 1 plus c, hence c is 0. Okay, all right. This is gone. Now you have just this. E raised to power sin y multiply e raised to power sin x equals to e raised to power sin x. This is your equation left, right? So that means in here sin y plus sin x equals to sin x. Sin x gone. Sin y equals to 0. That means y is n pi. But you all know that y of 0 is 0 given in the question. The moment you put x equals to 0, we have no place of x to put 0. That means this is 0, n is 0. So y equals to 0 is the solution of the differential equation. And actually, we are looking for this expression, right? Over here, y of pi by 6, y of anything would be 0 now. Because y equals to 0 is the solution. So 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is equals to what? 1. So the final answer of this particular question is nothing but 1. Okay. From the topic logarithm, we have our question which says, we need to figure out the number of solution of this equation. Okay. The moment I see logarithm is on both the sides, but both bases are different. Okay. So why not make this 4, base 4 as 2? Then only we can remove log from both the sides. So log x minus 1 to the base 2 square equals to log x minus 3 to the base 2. Now this is 2 square. Square is on the base. Whenever the power is on the base, we can take out this power in front by taking reciprocal of that power. So power is 2. Now what I'll be writing is 1 by 2. Log of x minus 1 to the base 2 equals to log of x minus 3 to the base 2. This half I'll be removing from LHS and multiplying in the RHS. Right? Now this 2. In the next step, what I'll be doing is, I'll be applying property. I'll take this 2 in the power of x minus 3. So we have log x minus 1 to the base 2 equals to log x minus 3 square to the base 2. Let's remove log from both the sides. We have x minus 1 equals to x minus 3 whole square. Right? So we have x square plus 9 minus 6x equals to x minus 1. If you solve it, what would you get? X square minus 7x. Okay, minus 7x, and then we have plus 10 equals to 0. Clear cut, two values are there, x equals to 5 and 2. But wait, here is the catch in this question. Whenever you solve logarithm question, always think about domain. In fact, I would say let's think about the domain in first place before solving the question, right? So x equals to 5 and 2. So if I talk about x equals to 5, it will not create problem over here. 5 minus 3 is 2. The expression inside the logarithm is positive. Okay. And x equals to 5 will also not create a problem over here. 5 is definitely a solution of this. But what about this? If I put x equals to 2 over here, the value inside the logarithm would be what? Negative. So this is not accepting x equals to 2. The whole equation is not defined at x equals to 2. We'll reject this. Accept 5. So overall, how many solutions are there? Only one solution. Got it? From the world of trigonometry, we have an easy peasy lemon squeezy question which says, we need to figure out the number of solution of the given equation involving cos x when x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, close both the sides. Okay. So as you all can see, this is nothing but a quadratic in cos x. The moment I put cos x equals to t, what I get is root 3t square equals to root 3 minus 1 times t plus 1. If you rearrange, what would you get? Root 3t square minus root 3t equals to, okay, plus t minus 1 equals to 0. Let's take out root 3t common. So I have t minus 1, then plus 1, t minus 1 equals to 0. So this we can split into two linear factors. If you do that, what would you get? Root 3t plus 1, t minus 1 equals to 0. There are two values of t, which is nothing but cos x. Cos x is either minus 1 by root 3 or 1. Cos x negative. This is first quadrant. Cos x cannot be negative. So cos x equals to minus 1 by root 3 rejected. Cos x equals to 1 in this interval. We all know that cos 0 is 1. Right? X equals to 0 is lying in this interval. Hence, the number of solution of this particular equation is 1. Hence, the answer of this question is also 1. Okay? From the chapter 3D geometry, we have our question which says, let lambda comma 2 comma 1 be the point on the plane which is passing through this point. That means these 2 points are lying on the plane. Let's just visualize it parallelly. Right? These 2 points are lying on the plane. We can join these 2 points so that a line is formed. Okay. Then we have, if the plane is perpendicular to the line joining these 2 points. Okay. That means the figure will look like this. Now, there are 2 points just like this. If you join them, then plane and line are perpendicular. Isn't it? This is the figure. Or I can say that this line is perpendicular to line joining these 2 points which are lying on the plane. So these 2 lines are perpendicular, right? And we need to figure out the value of this expression involving lambda. In short, what we want is the value of lambda. Okay. So now let's draw the figure nicely. We have 2 points A and B lying on the plane just like this. And we have 2 points P and Q such that the line joining PQ is perpendicular to the plane, hence perpendicular to AB. And here we have AB perpendicular to PQ. Dot product of these two would be what? Equal to 0. Hence we get the value of lambda and the value of the expression asked in the question. Let's begin. Let's execute. So here we have 4 minus lambda. I'm talking about AB vector, right? 4 minus lambda, then we have minus 4, then we have 1, right? This is I cap, this is J cap, this is K cap, right? AB vector dot PQ vector. What would be PQ vector? So we have minus 1, minus 2, that is I cap. Then we have minus 16 plus 21, that is 5 J cap. And then we have 23 minus 29, that is minus 6 K cap. Dot product would be equal to 0. Let's just solve it. Get the value of lambda quickly. 4 minus lambda minus 20 minus 6 equals to 0. If you solve this, what would you get? 26 minus 4 is 22. So we have lambda equals to minus 22. And what is the expression which we are looking for? The value of the expression. This is the expression given in the question. Let's just put the value of lambda over here. So we have 22 minus 22 by 11 whole square minus 4 minus 22 by 11 minus 4. This is what? So we have 4. 2 square is what? 4. Then we have, okay, then we have 8. And then we have minus 4. So overall the value is clear cut 8. So finally the answer of this particular question is nothing but 8. Got it? From the chapter differential equations, we have our question in which we need to figure out the difference between degree and order of a differential equation that represents family of curve given by this, where a is greater than 0, a is a parameter. If I talk about the order specifically, so I can see only one parameter is there, so order would be exactly 1. And in fact, we need to differentiate it only once. How do we form differential equation? We need degree. For degree, we need to differentiate it and we need to form a differential equation. Then only we can comment on degree, right? How do we form differential equation? By actually differentiating it only once, because here we have a parameter a, single parameter, right? And then we need to get rid of this parameter a. That's all. So let's differentiate 2y dash equals to a. Right, we have got the value of parameter a. Now let's put the value of a over here. So y square equals to 2y dash x plus square root of 2y dash by 2. Let's just multiply it. Y cancel. First of all, y equals to 2y dash x plus, we have this 2 and this 2 gone. So we have root 2y dash, and outside this y dash as well. Right, now this is still not the correct form of differential equation. In differential equation, what do we do? The power of y dash or dy by dx would be an whole number. And in here I can see this is the power. 1 plus half is what? 3 by 2. The power of y dash is nothing but 3 by 2. So y dash 3 by 2. I need to get rid of this 3 by 2. I need a whole number in power of y dash. So what I'll be doing is y minus 2xy dash in one bracket, and then on the right hand side root 2y dash 3 by 2. Let's just square both the sides. So I have y minus 2xy dash square, and then we have 2y dash cube. Y dash cube. See, now we have order of this differential equation equals to 1, because I am not having y double dash, I am not having y triple dash in my equation, I am having y dash. I have differentiated only once, hence the order is 1. What about degree? The highest power of y dash, highest power of y dash is 3, so degree is 3. Difference between order and degree, you can clearly see 3 minus 1 is what? 2. Finally you have answer 2. All right. From the world of complex numbers, we have our question which says, we need to figure out the sum of 162th power of the roots of this cubic equation. If the roots, let's assume as alpha, beta, gamma, then we need to determine alpha raised to power 162 plus beta raised to power 162 plus gamma raised to power 162. We are looking for this value. Okay. Now the question is pretty clear. So we need to actually work around getting the roots of this cubic. Right? Let's start. So what I'll be doing is, over here, x cube minus 1, I'll keep it together. X cube minus 1, and then we have minus 2x square plus 2x. That is equal to 0. Let's now factorize x cube minus 1. X minus 1, x square plus x plus 1. What about next? We have to take minus 2x common. Minus 2x common. Inside this, I have x minus 1. Right? Can you see that I can take out x minus 1 common from each and every term? So x minus 1 is outside, and inside the bracket I have x square plus x plus 1 minus 2x, which is nothing but x square minus x plus 1. This is the factorization. Yes. Okay. Now first root I can see is alpha equals to 1. Second root would be minus omega, and third root would be minus omega square. Now you'll ask me, where does this omega or minus omega comes from? So let me remind you, if the equation is x square plus x plus 1 equals to 0, then the roots are omega and omega square. If the equation is x square minus x plus 1 equals to 0, then the roots are minus omega square. Now you know all the three roots, and what do you want? Yes, the roots are alpha, beta, gamma. We have figured out alpha is 1, beta is minus omega square, gamma is minus omega. We are looking for alpha raised to power 162 plus beta raised to power 162 plus gamma raised to power 162. Let's put the value. 1 raised to power 162 is 1. Then we have minus omega square raised to power 162, and then we have minus omega raised to power 162. Right? Okay. And then we have 1 plus. Now, minus omega square raised to power 162, power is even, minus sign would be gone. Similar case with this. Now 162 is a multiple of 3. So it can be written as omega cube raised to power 2 raised to power 54. Isn't it? Similarly, this can be written as omega cube raised to power 54. Omega cube is 1. The moment I put omega cube equals to 1, what I get is 1 plus 1 raised to power anything. 1 and then 1. Of course, an integer. So here we have the final answer of this particular question as 3. So 3 is the answer. Sorted? From the world of definite integrals, we have our question in which we need to integrate modulus sine 2x with respect to dx, where upper limit is pi and lower limit is 0. Okay, let's start with sin x. Do you know period of sin x? Period of sin x is 2 pi. Okay, what about period of modulus sin x? The period of modulus sin x would be pi. But I'm looking for period of sin 2x. So if you know the period of f of x, which is t, for example, period of f of ax would be t by modulus a. Yes. So here sin 2x, the modulus of this would be, the period would be pi by 2. If period is pi by 2, we can apply the property of definite integral over here. What I'll be doing is, see, 0 to pi by 2 and pi by 2 to pi. There are two intervals of pi by 2 length each. So I'll be writing 2 over here. Integrating from 0 to pi by 2 modulus sin 2x dx. Yes, the integral will be equivalent to this integral. Okay, cool. Now what about how to get rid of this modulus? I want to get rid of this modulus sign. 0 to pi by 2. If I talk about simple sin 2x. If I put 0 in place of x, what I get is argument inside sin is 0. If I place pi by 2 inside this sign, if I place pi by 2 in place of x, what do I get? I get 2 multiply pi by 2. That means this would be from 0 to pi. The argument inside the sign would be what? 0 to pi. In 0 to pi, sign is positive. So no need to apply this modulus. We can remove the modulus easily. Yes? Okay. So we just need to integrate this. Let's do that. Sin 2x. Integration of sin x is what? Minus cos x. So integration of sin 2x would be minus cos 2x by 2. Yes, 2 gone, and of course upper and lower limit pi by 2 and 0. Let's just solve it now. So minus of cos 2 pi by 2 minus cos 0. So this is what? Minus of minus 1 minus 1. Overall you get is minus of minus 2, that is plus 2. Finally you have your answer, which is equals to just 2. Okay.